You have been at the center of some of the most volatile and emotional issues that have come before the Congress. Issues often involving religious matters, cultural issues, and so forth. One of the most well-known was the matter of Terri Schiavo, where Congress intervened and you led the charge to try to prevent the hospital from removing her life support system. That was a very controversial step that was taken by you and the rest of Congress, or the others who voted for that. If you had it to do over again, would you do it exactly the same way?
Absolutely. I have to give it a little personal note. I was the last man standing in town when we realized that Terri Schiavo's tube would be pulled over the weekend. The rest of the leadership, both in the House and Senate, had left town. I had been following the case. I had been trying to help the Schiavo family to keep Terri from being killed through court order. And so I went right, I stayed in town. I was supposed to go home. I stayed in town and I worked on that issue. I'm a pro-life member. I believe that government, other than the death penalty, government has no right to allow anybody else or the government itself to take your life, period. And once again, I was proven right. We have a judiciary that's unaccountable. All we did in the Congress was to give the federal judiciary one opportunity to take a hard look about what was going on in Florida, and they chose not to. They chose to thumb their nose at the Congress of the United States and the President of the United States. And I think it was outrageous.
You don't care, necessarily, if the majority, according to polls, support what you're doing.
No, I don't. No, I try to stand on principle. I try to do what I believe is right. I believe in Edmund Burke, I forget the quote, but paraphrasing him basically is that I run for office and tell you what I would do if you voted for me. You voted for me, you put me in office, so I'm going to do what I said I was going to do because I believe in it. I think...
whether the country wants it at that moment or not.
Then the country needs to get them new representatives. And that's what the elections are all about.
A couple of personal things, just observations about people. It's been said that your relationship with President Bush was not really close. Is that correct? How would you describe that relationship?
Oh, I think close. What do you mean? You know, he hugs me and kisses me, and no, I think we have I have an incredible respect for him. The moral leadership that he exhibited after 9/11 will forever earn my respect. We are a lot alike. We're the same age. We believe basically in the same things. We both came back to Christ about the same time for the same reasons. It's just a lot of similarity. He married a girl from back home. I married my high school sweetheart. We've had a very strong respect for each other and our abilities to do our job. And we have never said a cross word to each other. We've been very straight with each other. He's a very giving man, a very thoughtful man, and I appreciate that.
Why did you decide to resign?
I decided to resign for many different reasons. I'd been in this business for 22 years in the House of Representatives. It was obvious to me that even though I've been nuclear for a long time, I was getting too nuclear. My family had been through a lot. The Democrats had been attacking me for 10 years. I had my first frivolous ethics charges filed against me 10 years ago, 1995. I've had a RICO suit, racketeering, frivolous RICO suit filed against me. I've had ethics charges filed every election cycle. They've all been dismissed, by the way.
So you had your hand slapped a couple of times.
No, I was warned. Frankly, the Rules Committee violated their own rules. Those admonishments were their opinion about something's going on. They're not sanctions, and they're supposed to be kept private, but they broke their own rules.
But are you saying that you finally decided that you were causing trouble for the party? That's why you left?
I had become a liability, yeah, but that's one reason I left. The second reason was I realized that I could be more effective outside the House in helping maintain the majority and move legislation than being locked down in a re-election campaign in Texas. And this coming election is incredibly important for the future of the country. And then there were those personal reasons. My wife and my family's been through enough, and there's no reason to put them through it anymore.
And are you going to miss it?
No, because I'm very, very involved in other things, things that help drive the conservative cause, help elect Republicans, and I'm sort of enjoying that.
Are you going to start a movement, an organization?
Well, it's too early to tell. I've only been out about a month or so. I hope I can build. The conservative movement needs more grassroots-oriented organizations, and I hope I can build a political coalition that can be effective in driving the conservative agenda.
But you might be the leader of some kind of an organization, perhaps?
Who knows? I've been working with several different organizations. I've been consulting with a few, working on a book, speaking out, and there'll be more of that, and helping Republicans get elected.